This is the story of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Perhaps the most remarkable, certainly the most successful book ever to come out of the great publishing corporations of Ursa Minor. More popular than the Celestial Home Care Omnibus, better selling than 53 More Things to Do in Zero Gravity, and more controversial than Ulon Kalufid's trilogy of philosophical blockbusters, Where God Went Wrong, some more of God's greatest mistakes, and Who is this God person anyway? And in many of the more relaxed civilizations on the outer eastern rim of the galaxy, The Hitchhiker's Guide has already supplanted the great Encyclopedia Galactica as the standard repository of all knowledge and wisdom, because although it has many omissions, contains much that is apocryphal, or at least wildly inaccurate, it scores over the older, more pedestrian work in two important ways. First, it is slightly cheaper, and second, it has the words "Don't Panic" inscribed in large, friendly letters on the cover. To tell the story of the book, it is best to tell the story of some of the minds behind it. A human from the planet Earth was one of them, though as our story opens, he no more knows his destiny than a tea leaf knows the history of the East India Company. His name is Arthur Dent. He is a 6-foot-tall ape descendant, and someone is trying to drive a bypass through his home.
Come off it, Mr. Dent. You can't win, you know. You can't lie in front of the bulldozers indefinitely.
I'm game. We'll see who thrusts first.
I'm afraid you're going to have to accept it. This bypass has got to be built, and it's going to be built. Nothing you can say or
Why has it got to be built?
Well, it's... Me? Why has it got to be built? It's a bypass. You've got to build bypasses.
Didn't anyone consider the alternatives?
There are no alternatives. You were quite entitled to make any suggestions or protests at the appropriate time.
Appropriate time? The first I knew about it was when a workman arrived at the door yesterday. I asked him if he'd come to clean the windows, and he said he'd come to demolish the house.
Yes.
He didn't tell me straight away, of course. Oh, no. First, he wiped a couple of windows and charged me a £5, and then he told me...
But, Mr. The plans have been available in the planning office for the last 9 months.
Yes. I went straight round to find them yesterday afternoon. You hadn't exactly gone out of your way to call much attention to them, had you? I mean, like actually telling anybody or anything.
The plans were on display.
On display? I eventually had to go down to the cellar.
That's the display department.
With a torch.
Well, the lights have probably done.
So are the stairs.
Well, you found the notice, didn't you?
Yes. It was on display in the bottom of a locked filing cabinet stuck in a disused lavatory with a sign on the door saying, "Beware of the leopard."
Mr. Dent!
Hello, yes.
Have you any idea how much damage that bulldozer would suffer if I just let it roll straight over you?
How much?
None at all.
By a strange coincidence, none at all is exactly how much suspicion the ape descendant Arthur Dent had that one of his closest friends was not descended from an ape, but was, in fact, from a small planet somewhere in the vicinity of Betelgeuse. Arthur Dent's failure to suspect this reflects the care with which his friend blended himself into human society after a fairly shaky start. When he first arrived 15 years ago, the minimal research he had done suggested to him that the name Ford Prefect would be nicely inconspicuous. He will enter our story in 17.2 seconds and say, "Hello, Arthur." The ape descendant will greet him in return. But in deference to 1,000,000 years of evolution, he will not attempt to pick fleas off him. Earthmen are not proud of their ancestors and never invite them round to dinner.
Hello, Arthur.
Oh, Ford, hi, how are you?
Fine. Look, are you busy?
Well, I've just got this bulldozer to lie in front of, otherwise no, not especially.
Good.
What?
Look, there's a pub down the road. Let's have a pint and we can talk.
Ford, there's a man over there who wants to knock my house down.
Arthur.
The first I knew about it was
Arthur.
yesterday when a workman came
Arthur.
round to say he was cleaning the windows. What?
Arthur, just listen to me. I have got to tell you the most important thing you've ever heard. I've got to tell you now, and I've got to tell you in that pub there.
Why?
Because you're going to need a very stiff drink. Just trust me.
But you don't understand. These people are trying to knock my house.
You know you can trust me to the end of the earth.
Yes, but how far's that?
About 10 minutes away. Come on, I need a drink.
The Encyclopedia Galactica describes alcohol as a colorless, volatile liquid formed by the fermentation of sugars, and also notes its intoxicating effect on certain carbon-based life forms. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy also mentions alcohol. it says that the best drink in existence is the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster, the effect of which is like having your brains smashed out with a slice of lemon wrapped round a large gold brick. The guide also tells you on which planets the best Pan-Galactic Gargle Blasters are mixed, how much you can expect to pay for one, and what voluntary organizations exist to help you rehabilitate. The man who invented this mind-pummeling drink also invented the wisest remark ever made, which was this: never drink more than 2 Pan-Galactic Gargle Blasters unless you are a 30-ton elephant with bronchial pneumonia. His name is Zaphod Beeblebrox, and we shall learn more of his wisdom later.
6 pints of bitter, and quickly, please. The world's about to end.
Oh, yes, sir. Nice weather for it. What's the match this afternoon, sir?
No point.
Foregone conclusion that, you reckon, sir? Arsenal without a chance?
No, it's just that the world's going to end.
Oh, yes, sir. You said lucky escape for Arsenal if it did.
No, not really.
Well, sir, 6 pints.
Right, keep the change.
From a fiver? Thank you, sir.
You've only got 7 minutes left to spend it.
Ford, would you please tell me what the hell is going on?
Drink up, you've got 3 pints to get through.
3 at lunchtime?
Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so. Drink up.
Why 3 pints?
Muscle relaxant. You'll need it.
Did I do something wrong today, or has the world always been like this and I've been too wrapped up in myself to notice?
I'll try to explain. Drink up. How long have we known each other?
5 years, maybe 6. Most of it seemed to make some kind of sense at the time.
All right. How would you react if I said that I'm not from Guildford after all, but from a small planet somewhere in the vicinity of Beetlejuice?
I don't know. Why? Do you think it's the sort of thing you feel you're likely to say?
Drink up. The world's about to end.
This must be Thursday. I never could get the hang of Thursdays.
On this particular Thursday, things were moving quietly through the ionosphere many miles above the surface of the planet. Several huge yellow slab-like somethings, huge as office blocks, silent as birds, which hung in the air exactly the same way that bricks don't. The planet was almost totally unaware of their presence. They went unnoticed at Goonhilly, they passed over Cape Canaveral without a blip, and Woomera and Jodrell Bank looked straight through them, which was a pity because it was exactly the sort of thing they'd been looking for all these years. Arthur, of course, was totally unaware of them. He was only aware of a sudden, terrible crashing noise.
What's that? Don't worry, they haven't started yet. Good. It's probably just your house being knocked down.
What?
3 minutes to go.
Damn you and your fairy stories! They're smashing up my home! Stop, you vandals! You home wreckers! You half-crazy...
Arthur, come back! It's pointless! Hell, I better go after him. Barman, quickly, can you just give me 4 packets of peanuts?
Sir, there you are, sir. 28 pence.
Keep the change.
Are you serious, sir? I mean, do you really think the world's going to end this afternoon?
Yes, in just over 1 minute and 35 seconds.
Isn't there anything we can do?
No, nothing.
Well, I always thought we were meant to lie down or put a paper bag over our head or something.
If you like, yes.
Will that help?
No. Excuse me, I've got to find my friend.
Oh, well then. Last orders, please!
You pinch-like barbarians! I'll do the council Ronnie Penny's block! I'll have you hung and drawn and quartered and whipped and boiled and
Arthur!
I'll chop you into little bits until you've had enough!
Arthur, don't bother. There isn't time. Get over here.
And when
There's
I've
only
finished,
10
I'll
seconds
take the
left.
little bits and I'll jump on them! And I'll carry on jumping them until I get blisters! I can think of something even more unpleasant to do! And then I'll... What the hell is that?
Arthur, quick! Over here!
What the hell is it?
It's a fleet of flying saucers. What do you think it is? Quick! You've got to get hold of this rock.
Flying saucer!
Just that is a Vogon constructor fleet. A Vogon constructor fleet. I picked up news of their arrival a few hours ago on my sub-ether radio.
Lord, I don't think I can cope with any more of this. I think I'll just go and have a little lie down somewhere.
No, just stay here. Keep calm and just take hold of...
People of Earth, your attention, please. This is Prostetnik Fogonjans of the Galactic Hyperspace Planning Council. As you will no doubt be aware, the plans for the development of the outlying regions of the western spiral arm of the galaxy require the building of a hyperspace express route through your star system, and regrettably, your planet is one of those scheduled for demolition. The process will take slightly less than 2 of your Earth minutes. Thank you very much. There's no point in acting all surprised about it. All the planning charts and demolition orders have been on display at your local planning department in Alpha Centauri for 50 of your Earth years. So you've had plenty of time to lodge any formal complaints, and it's far too late to start making a fuss about it now. What do you mean you've never been to Alpha Centauri? Oh, for heaven's sake, mankind, it's only 4 light years away, you know. I'm sorry, but if you can't be bothered to take an interest in local affairs, that's your own lookout. Energize the demolition beams. Oh, I don't know. Apathetic bloody planet time listen to it all.
Some peanuts. What? If you've never been through a matter transference beam before, you've probably lost some salt and protein. The beer you had should have cushioned your system a bit. How are you feeling?
Like a military academy. Bits of me keep on passing out. If I asked where the hell we were, would I regret it?
We're safe.
Good.
We're in a small galley cabin in one of the spaceships of the Vogon constructor fleet.
Ah, this is obviously some strange usage of the word safe that I wasn't previously aware of.
I'll have a look for the light.
All right. How did we get here?
We hitched a lift.
Excuse me, are you trying to tell me that we just stuck out our thumbs and some green, bug-eyed monster stuck his head out and said, "Hi, fellas, hop right in, I can take you as far as the Basingstoke roundabout"?
Well, the thumb's an electronic sub-ether device. The roundabout's at Barnard Star 6 light years away, but otherwise that's more or less right.
And the bug-eyed monster?
It's green, yes.
Fine, when can I go home?
You can't. Ah, found the light.
Good grief, is this really the interior of a flying saucer?
It certainly is. What do you think?
It's a bit squalid, isn't it?
What did you expect?
Well, I don't know. Gleaming control panels, flashing lights, computer screens. Not old mattresses.
Here, have a look at this.
What is it?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a sort of electronic book. It'll tell you everything you want to know. That's its job.
I like the cover. Don't panic. It's the first helpful or intelligible thing anybody's said to me all day.
That's why it sells so well. Here, press this button and the screen will give you the index. Right, now fast wind through to V. There you are. Vogon constructor fleets. Now, enter that code on the tabulator and read what it says.
Vogon constructor fleets. Here is what to do if you want to get a lift from a Vogon. Forget it. They are one of the most unpleasant races in the galaxy. Not actually evil, but bad-tempered, bureaucratic, officious, and callous. They wouldn't even lift a finger to save their own grandmothers from the ravenous bug-bladder beast of Trial without orders signed in triplicate, sent in, sent back, queried, lost, found, subjected to public inquiry, lost again, and finally buried in soft peat for 3 months and recycled as firelighters. The best way to get a drink out of a Vogon is stick your finger down his throat. And the best way to irritate him is to feed his grandmother to the ravenous bug-bladder beast of Trial.
What a strange book. But how did we get a lift, then?
The Dentrassi let us on board.
I thought you said they were called Bogons.
Vogons.
Ah, not Dentrassi.
No, the Dentrassi are the in-flight caterers. Great guys. They're the best cooks and the best drinks mixers, and they don't give a wet slap about anything else. And they always help hitchhikers, partly because they like the company, but mostly because it annoys the Vogons, which is exactly what you need to know if you're a penniless hitchhiker trying to see the marvels of the galaxy for less than $30 Altarian a day.
But the book doesn't even mention them.
Ah, it's not very accurate. I'm researching the new edition. That's my job. Fun, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Unfortunately, I got stuck on the Earth for rather longer than I intended. I came for a week and was stranded for 15 years.
But how did you get there in the first place?
Oh, I got to live with a teaser.
Teaser?
You know, rich kids with nothing to do. They cruise around looking for planets which haven't made interstellar contact yet and buzz them.
Buzz them?
Yes. They find some isolated spot, then land right by some poor unsuspecting soul whom no one's ever going to believe, and then strut up and down in front of him wearing silly antennae on their heads and making meep noises. Rather childish, really.
What the devil's that?
Listen, it might be important. It's the Vogon captain making an announcement on the PA.
But I can't speak Vogon.
You don't need to. Just put this fish in your ear.
What?
Come on, it's only a little one.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Message repeat. This is your captain speaking, so stop whatever you're doing and pay attention. First of all, I see from our instruments that we have a couple of hitchhikers aboard our ship. Hello. Hello, wherever you are. I just want to make it totally clear that you are not at all welcome. I worked hard to get where I am today, and I did become captain of a Vogon constructor ship simply so that I could turn it into a taxi service for degenerate freeloaders. I have sent out a search party, and as soon as they find you, I will put you off the ship. If you're very lucky, I might read you some of my poetry first. Secondly, we are about to jump into hyperspace for the journey to Barnard's Star. On arrival, we will stay in dock for a 72-hour refit, and no one's to leave the ship during that time. I repeat, all planet leave is cancelled. I've just had an unhappy love affair, so I don't see why anyone else should have a good time. Message ends.
Charming, these Vogons. I wish I had a daughter so I could forbid her to marry one.
You wouldn't need to. They've got as much sex appeal as a road accident. Oh, and you better be prepared for the jump into hyperspace. It's unpleasantly like being drunk.
Well, what's unpleasant about being drunk?
You ask a glass of water.
Ford,
Yes?
what's this fish doing in my ear?
Translating for you. Look under Babelfish in the book.
Whoa, what's happening?
We're going into hyperspace. I'll never be cruel to a gin and tonic again.
The Babelfish is small, yellow, leech-like, and probably the oddest thing in the universe. It feeds on brainwave energy, absorbing all unconscious frequencies and then excreting telepathically a matrix formed from the conscious frequencies and nerve signals picked up from the speech centers of the brain. The practical upshot of which is that if you stick one in your ear, you can instantly understand anything sent to you in any form of language. The speech you hear decodes the brainwave matrix. Now, it is such a bizarrely improbable coincidence that anything so mind-bogglingly useful could evolve purely by chance that some thinkers have chosen to see it as a final, clinching proof of the non-existence of God. The argument goes something like this. I refuse to prove that I exist, says God, for proof denies faith, and without faith I am nothing. But, says man, the Babelfish is a dead giveaway, isn't it? It proves you exist, therefore you don't. QED. Oh dear, says God, I hadn't thought of that, and promptly vanishes in a puff of logic. Oh, that was easy, says man, and for an encore he proves that black is white, and gets killed on the next zebra crossing. Most leading theologians claim that this argument is a load of dingo's kidneys, but that didn't stop Ulan Kalufid making a small fortune when he used it as the central theme of his best-selling book, Well, That About Wraps It Up for God. Meanwhile, the poor Babelfish, by effectively removing all barriers of communication between different cultures and races, has caused more and bloodier wars than anything else in the history of creation.
What an extraordinary book. Did you get much useful material on Earth?
I was able to extend the entry, yes.
Oh, let's see what it says in this edition then.
Okay.
Let's see. Earth. Pop out the code. There's the page. Oh, it doesn't seem to have an entry.
Yes, it does. Look. There, at the bottom of the screen. Under Eccentrica Galumbits, the triple-breasted whore of Eroticon 6.
What, there? Oh, yes. Harmless? Is that all it's got to say? One word, harmless? What the hell's that supposed to mean?
Well, there are 100 billion stars in the galaxy and a limited amount of space in the book. And no one knew much about the Earth.
Well, I hope you've managed to rectify that a bit.
Yes, I transmitted a new entry off to the editor.
Good.
He had to trim it a bit, but it's still an improvement.
What does it say now?
Mostly harmless.
Mostly harmless?
Oh, come on. I think that's pretty good coverage for a disintegrated pile of rubble.
And that's supposed to make me feel better, is it?
Shh.
What?
That.
What is it?
Well, if we're lucky, it's just the Vogons come to throw us into space.
And if we're unlucky?
The captain might want to read us some of his poetry first.
Vogon poetry is, of course, the third worst in the universe. The second worst is that of the Asgoths of Krea. During a recitation by their poet master, Grunthos the Flatulent, of his poem Ode to a Small Lump of Green Putty I Found in My Armpit One Midsummer Morning, 4 of his audience died of internal hemorrhaging, and the president of the Mid-Galactic Arts Nobbling Council only survived by gnawing one of his own legs off. Grunthos is reported to have been disappointed by the poem's reception and was about to embark on a reading of his 12-book epic entitled Zen and the Art of Going to the Lavatory, when his own major intestine, in a desperate attempt to save the universe, leapt straight up through his neck and throttled his brain. The very worst poetry of all perished along with its creator, Paul Mills, of Redbridge, Essex, England, in the destruction of the planet Earth. Vogon poetry is mild by comparison, but when the Vogon captain began to read, it provoked this reaction from Ford Prefect, and this from Arthur Dent.
Oh, frettled grunt bugly, thy micturations are to me as furtled gabble blotting in a lurgy bee. Group, I implore thee, my footing turning drones, and hooptiously strangle me with crinkly bindle words, for otherwise I will rend thee in the gobberwarts with my blurgle cruncheon. See if I don't. So, Earthlings, I present you with a simple choice. I was going to throw you straight out into the empty blackness of space to die horribly and slowly, but there is one way, one simple way, in which you may save yourselves. Think very carefully, for you hold your very lives in your hands. Now choose. Either die in the vacuum of space, or tell me how good you thought my poem was.
Oh, I thought that some of the metaphysical imagery was really particularly effective.
Yes, and interesting rhythmic devices too, which seem to counterpoint
the surrealism of the underlying metaphor.
And then die in the vacuum of space.
What?
No, wait a minute.
I'm sorry if that seems mean, but it's the only thing I'm much good at, so I like to keep in practice.
What, writing poetry?
No, being mean. God, take them to number 3 airlock and throw them out.
Don't worry, Arthur. I'll think of something.
I don't want to die now. I've still got a headache. I don't want to go to heaven with a headache. I'd be all cross and wouldn't enjoy it. Ow! Ow!
Counterpoint the surrealism of the underlying metaphor. Death's too good for them.
Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this at a distance of roughly 90 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended life forms are so amazingly primitive that they still think digital watches are a pretty neat idea. This planet has, or had, a problem, which was this. Most of the people living on it were unhappy for pretty much of the time. Many solutions were suggested for this problem, but most of these were largely concerned with the movements of small green pieces of paper. Which is odd, because on the whole it wasn't the small green pieces of paper that were unhappy. And so the problem remained. And lots of the people were mean, and most of them were miserable, even the ones with digital watches. Many were increasingly of the opinion that they'd all made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place. And some said that even the trees had been a bad move and that no one should ever have left the oceans. And then one day, nearly 2,000 years after one man had been nailed to a tree for saying how great it would be to be nice to people for a change, a girl, sitting on her own in a small cafe in Rickmansworth, suddenly realized what it was that had been going wrong all this time, and she finally knew how the world could be made a good and happy place. This time it was right, it would work, and no one would have to get nailed to anything. Sadly, however, before she could get to a phone to tell anyone, the Earth was unexpectedly demolished to make way for a new hyperspace bypass, and so the idea was lost forever. Meanwhile, Arthur Dent and Ford Prefect have escaped from all that, only to have to contend with all this.
We're trapped now, aren't we?
Yes, we're trapped.
Well, didn't you think of anything?
Oh, yes, but unfortunately it rather involved being on the other side of the airtight hatchway they've just sealed behind us.
So what happens next?
The hatchway in front of us will open automatically in a moment, and we'll shoot out into deep space and asphyxiate in about 30 seconds.
So this is it? We're going to die?
Yes. Except... No. Wait a minute. What's this switch?
What? Where?
No, I was only fooling. We are going to die after all.
You know, it's at times like this, when I'm trapped in a Vogon airlock with a man from Beetlejuice and about to die of asphyxiation in deep space, that I really wish I'd listened to what my mother told me when I was young.
Why? What did she tell you?
I don't know. I didn't listen.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a truly remarkable book. The introduction starts like this. Space, it says, is big, really big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. I mean, you may think it's a long way down the street to the chemist, but that's just peanuts to space. Listen, and so on. After a while, the style settles down a bit and it starts telling you things you actually need to know. Like the fact that the fabulously beautiful planet Bethselamin is now so worried about the cumulative erosion caused by 10 billion visiting tourists a year that any net imbalance between the amount you eat and the amount you excrete whilst on the planet is surgically removed from your body weight when you leave. So every time you go to the lavatory there, it is vitally important to get a receipt. In the entry in which it talks about dying of asphyxiation 30 seconds after being thrown out of a spaceship, it goes on to say that what with space being the size it is, the chances of being picked up by another craft within those seconds are 2 to the power of 267,709 to 1 against, which, by a staggering coincidence, was also the telephone number of an Islington flat where Arthur once went to a very good party and met a very nice girl whom he totally failed to get off with. Though the planet Earth, the Islington flat and the telephone have all now been demolished, it is comforting to reflect that they are in some small way commemorated by the fact that 29 seconds later, Ford and Arthur were in fact rescued.
There you are. I told you I'd think of something.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right idea of mine to find a passing spaceship and get rescued by...
Oh, come on. The chances against it are astronomical.
Don't knock it, it worked. Now, where are we?
Well, I hardly like to say this, but it looks like the seafront at Southend.
God, I'm relieved to hear you say that.
Why?
Because I thought I must be going mad.
Perhaps you are. Perhaps you only thought I said it.
Well, did you say it or not?
I think so.
Perhaps we're both going mad. Still, nice day for it. Sunshine.
See? Thank you.
Perhaps we better ask someone what's going on. How about that man over there?
What, the one with the 5 heads crawling up the wall?
Yes.
Excuse me? If this is Southend, then there's something very odd about it.
You mean the way the sea stays steady as a rock and the buildings keep washing up and down? Yes, I thought that was odd.
2 to the power of 100,000 to 1 against and falling.
What was that?
Sounds like a measurement of probability. Or improbability. Improbability.
Everything seems to be melting away. Falling backward. The stars are swirling. A dust bowl. Snow? My legs drifting off into the sunset. My left arm floating away. How am I going to operate my digital watch now? Ford?
Yes?
You're turning into a penguin. Stop it.
2 to the power of 75,000 to 1 against and falling.
Hey, who are you? Where are you? What's going on, and is there any way of stopping it?
Please relax. You're perfectly safe.
That's not the point. The point is that I am now a perfectly safe penguin, and my colleague here is rapidly running out of limbs.
It's all right, I've got them back now.
2 to the power of 50,000 to 1 against and falling.
Admittedly, they're longer than I usually like them, but...
Isn't there anything you feel you ought to be telling us?
Welcome to the starship Heart of Gold. Please do not be alarmed by anything you see or hear around you. You are bound to feel some initial ill effects as you have been rescued from certain death at an improbability level of 2 to the power of 267,709 to 1 against, possibly much higher. We are now cruising at a level of 2 to the power of 25,000 to 1 against and falling, and we'll be restoring normality as soon as we're sure what is normal anyway. Thank you. 2 to the power of 20,000 to 1 against and falling.
Arthur, this is fantastic. We've been picked up by a ship with the new infinite improbability drive. I mean, this is really incredible, Arthur. Arthur? What's happening?
Ford, there's an infinite number of monkeys outside who want to talk to us about this script for Hamlet they've worked out.
The infinite improbability drive is a wonderful new method of crossing interstellar distances in a few seconds without all that tedious mucking about in hyperspace. The principle of generating small amounts of finite improbability by simply hooking the logic circuits of a Bambleweenie 57 sub-Meson brain to an atomic vector plotter suspended in a strong Brownian motion producer, say a nice hot cup of tea, were of course well understood, and such generators were often used to break the ice at parties by making all the molecules in the hostess's undergarments simultaneously leap 1 foot to the left, in accordance with the theory of indeterminacy. Many respectable physicists said that they weren't going to stand for that sort of thing, partly because it was a debasement of science, but mostly because they didn't get invited to those sort of parties. Another thing they couldn't stand was the perpetual failure they encountered in trying to construct a machine which could generate the infinite improbability field needed to flip a spaceship between the furthest stars, and in the end, they grumpily announced that such a machine was virtually impossible. Then one day, a student, who had been left to sweep up the lab after a particularly unsuccessful party, found himself reasoning this way. If such a machine is a virtual impossibility, then it must logically be a finite improbability. So all I have to do in order to make one is to work out exactly how improbable it is, then feed that figure into the finite improbability generator, give it a fresh cup of really hot tea, and turn it on. He did this, and was rather startled to discover that he had managed to create the long-sought-after infinite improbability generator out of thin air. It startled him even more when just after he was awarded the Galactic Institute's prize for extreme cleverness, he got lynched by a rampaging mob of respectable physicists who had finally realized that the one thing they really couldn't stand was a smartass.
5 to 1 against and falling. 4 to 1 against and falling. 3 to 1. 2. 1. Probability factor of 1 to 1. We have normality. I repeat, we have normality. Anything you still can't cope with is therefore your own problem. Please relax. You'll be sent for soon.
Who are they, Trillian?
Just a couple of guys who picked up in open space. Sector ZZ9, plural Z Alpha.
Yeah, well, that's a very sweet thought, Trillian, but do you really think it wise under the circumstances? I mean, here we are, on the run and everything. We've got the police of half the galaxy after us, and we stopped to pick up hitchhikers. Okay, so 10 out of 10 for style, but minus several million for good thinking, eh?
I didn't pick them up. The ship did it all by itself.
What?
Whilst we were in improbability drive.
Oh, that's incredible.
No, just very, very improbable. Look, don't worry about the aliens. They're just a couple of guys, I expect. I'll send the robot down to check them out. Hey, Marvin.
I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed.
Oh, God.
Well, here's something to occupy you and keep your mind off things.
It won't work. I have an exceptionally large mind.
Marvin.
All right, what do you want me to do?
Go down to number 2 entry bay and bring the 2 aliens up here under surveillance.
Just that?
Yes.
I won't enjoy it.
She's not asking you to enjoy it. Just do it, will you?
All right, I'll do it.
Good. Great. Thank you.
I'm not getting you down at all, am I?
No, Marvin, that's just fine, really.
I wouldn't like to think I was getting you down.
No, don't you worry about that. You just act as comes naturally and everything will be fine.
You're sure you don't mind?
No. It's all just part of life.
Life. Don't talk to me about life.
I don't think I can stand that robot much longer, Zaphod.
The Encyclopedia Galactica defines a robot as a mechanical apparatus designed to do the work of a man. The marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation defines a robot as your plastic pal who's fun to be with. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy defines the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation as a bunch of mindless jerks who'll be the first against the wall when the revolution comes, with a footnote to the effect that the editors would welcome applications from anyone interested in taking over the post of robotics correspondent. Curiously enough, an edition of the Encyclopedia Galactica that fell through a time warp from 1,000 years in the future defined the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation as a bunch of mindless jerks who were the first against the wall when the revolution came.
I think this ship is brand new, Arthur.
How can you tell? Have you got some exotic device for measuring the age of metal?
No, I just found this sales brochure lying on the floor. The universe can be yours. Yes, look. Sensational new breakthrough in improbability physics. As the ship's drive reaches infinite improbability, it passes through every conceivable point in every conceivable universe almost simultaneously. You select your own re-entry point. Be the envy of other major governments. This is big league stuff.
It looks a hell of a lot better than that dingy Vogon ship. This is my idea of a spaceship. It's all gleaming white, flashing lights, everything. What happens if I press this button?
I wouldn't.
Oh.
What happened?
A sign lit up saying, please do not press this button again.
They make a big thing of the ship's cybernetics. A new generation of Sirius Cybernetics Corporation robots and computers with the new GPP feature.
GPP? What's that?
It says genuine people personalities.
Sounds ghastly.
Thank you.
It is.
What?
Ghastly. It all is absolutely ghastly. Just don't even talk about it. Look at this door. All the doors in this spacecraft have a cheerful and sunny disposition. It is their pleasure to open for you and their satisfaction to close again with the knowledge of a job well done.
Thank you.
Hateful. Come on. I've been ordered to take you up to the bridge. Here I am, brain the size of a planet, and they tell me to take you up to the bridge. Call that job satisfaction, because I don't.
Excuse me, which government owns this ship?
You watch this door. It's about to open again. I can tell by the intolerable air of smugness it suddenly generates.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
Thank you, the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation.
Which government owns this ship?
Let's build robots with genuine people personalities, they said. So they tried it out with me. I'm a personality prototype. You can tell, can't you?
Well...
I hate that door. I'm not getting you down, am I?
Which government owns it?
No government owns it. It's been stolen.
Stolen?
Stolen?
Who by?
Zaphod Beeblebrox.
Zaphod Beeblebrox?
Oh, sorry, did I say something wrong? Pardon me for breathing, which I never do anyway, so I don't know why I bothered to say it. Oh, God, I'm so depressed. Here's another of those self-satisfied doors.
Glad to be of service.
Life. Don't talk to me about life.
No one even mentioned it.
Really? Zaphod Beeblebrox.
And news reports brought to you here on the sub-ether waveband, broadcasting around the galaxy, around the clock. And we'll be saying a big hello to all intelligent life forms everywhere. And to everyone else out there, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. And of course, the big news story tonight is the sensational theft of the new Improbability Drive prototype ship by none other than Zaphod Beeblebrox. And the question everyone's asking is, has the big Z finally flipped? Beeblebrox, the man who invented the pan-galactic gargle blaster, ex-confidence trickster, part-time galactic president, once described by eccentrica Columbus as the best bang since the big one, and recently voted the worst-dressed sentient being in the universe for the 7th time running. Has he got an answer this time? We asked his private brain care specialist, Gag Halfront.
Well, look, Zaphod's just this guy, you know?
What'd you turn it off for?
I just thought of something.
Yeah?
We picked those couple of guys up in sector ZZ9 plural Z alpha. Does that mean anything to you?
On the whole, no.
Let me show it to you on the screen. Right there. It's the same sector you picked me up in.
Hey, right. I don't believe it. How the hell did we come to be there?
Improbability Drive. We pass through every point in the universe, you know that.
Yeah, but picking them up there is just too strange a coincidence. I want to work this out. Computer?
Hi there.
Oh, God.
I want you to know that whatever your problem, I am here to help you solve it.
Look, I think I'll just use a piece of paper.
Sure thing, I understand. If you ever need a...
Shut up.
Okay.
Trillion, listen. The ship picked them up all by itself, right?
Right.
So that already gives us a high improbability factor.
I can work it out for you.
It picked them up in that particular space sector.
Sector ZZ9, plural Z alpha.
Which gives us another high improbability factor.
Plus, they were not wearing spacesuits. Did you think of that?
So we picked them up during a crucial 30-second period.
I've got a note of that factor here.
So have I.
Put it all together.
And we have a total improbability factor of exactly...
Well, it's pretty vast, but it's not infinite. At what point did we pick them up?
Infinite improbability level.
Yeah. I got a bad feeling about one big whack of improbability still to be accounted for.
Blood surface. I suppose you'll want to see the aliens now. Do you want me to sit in a corner and rust or just fall apart where I'm standing?
Show them in, please, Marvin.
I'm not staying in the same room with that robot.
Ford, hi, how are you? Glad you could drop in.
Zaphod, great to see you. You're looking well. The extra arm suits you. Nice ship you've stolen.
You mean you know this guy?
Know him? He's... Oh, Zaphod. This is a friend of mine, Arthur Dent. I saved him when his planet blew up.
Oh, sure. Hi, Arthur. Glad you could make it.
And Arthur, this is my
We've met.
What?
Oh, have we,
What do you mean you've met? This is Zaphod Beeblebrox from Beetlejuice 5, you know, not bloody Martin Smith from Croydon.
I don't care. We've met, haven't we, Zaphod? Or should I say, Phil?
What?
You'll have to remind me. I have a terrible memory for species. Hey, Ford.
It was at a party 6 months ago.
I rather doubt that.
On Earth. England.
Look.
London. Islington.
Oh, that party.
Zaphod, you don't mean to say you've been on that miserable little planet as well, do you?
No, of course not. Well, I may just have dropped in briefly. On my way somewhere.
He gate-crashed this fancy-dress party, barged up to the girl I was talking to and said, "Hey, doll, is this guy boring you? Why don't you talk to me instead? I'm from a different planet."
Zaphod?
Yes, he only had the 2 arms and he called himself Phil, but there was
But you have to admit he did turn out to be from another planet.
What? Good God. It's her, Tricia McMillan.
Improbability sum now complete. And for my next trick,
Oh, shut up, will you?
Just trying to create a pleasant social atmosphere.
What on earth are you doing here?
Same as you, I hitched a lift. After all, with a degree in maths and another in astrophysics, it was either that or the dole queue again on Monday, wasn't it? Anyway, hi. Nice to see you again.
But this is all impossible.
No, just very, very improbable.
Oh, God. Ford, this is Trillion. Hi. Trillion, this is my semi-cousin Ford, who shares 3 of the same mothers as me. Hi. Trillion, is this sort of thing going to happen every time we use the infinite improbability drive?
Very probably, I'm afraid.
Zaphod Beeblebrox, this is a very large drink.
Hi there, this is Eddie, your shipboard computer, and I just want to mention here that we are now moving into orbit around the legendary planet of Magrathea. Sorry to interrupt your social evening. Have a good time.
Far back in the mists of ancient time, in the great and glorious days of the former galactic empire, life was wild, rich, and on the whole tax-free. Mighty starships plied their way between exotic suns, seeking adventure and reward amongst the furthest reaches of galactic space. In those days, men were real men, women were real women, and small furry creatures from Alpha Centauri were real small furry creatures from Alpha Centauri. And all dared to brave unknown terrors, to do mighty deeds, to boldly split infinitives that no man had split before. And thus was the empire forged. Many men, of course, became extremely rich, but this was perfectly natural and nothing to be ashamed of, because no one was really poor, at least no one worth speaking of. And for these extremely rich merchants, life eventually became rather dull, and it seemed that none of the worlds they settled on was entirely satisfactory. Either the climate wasn't quite right in the later part of the afternoon, or the day was half an hour too long, or the sea was just the wrong shade of pink. And thus were created the conditions for a staggering new form of industry, custom-made luxury planet building. The home of this industry was the planet Magrathea, where vast hyperspatial engineering works were constructed to suck matter through white holes in space and form it into dream planets, lovingly made to meet the exacting standards that the galaxy's richest men had naturally come to expect. And so successful was this venture that very soon Magrathea itself soon became the richest planet of all time, and the rest of the galaxy was reduced to abject poverty. And so the system broke down. The empire collapsed, and a long, sullen silence settled over the galaxy, disturbed only by the pen scratchings of scholars as they labored into the night over smug little treatises on the value of a planned political economy. Magrathea itself disappeared, and its memory soon passed into the obscurity of legend. In these enlightened days, of course, no one believes a word of it.
I'm sorry, Zaphod. I just don't believe a word of it.
Listen to me, Ford. I found it. I swear I found it.
Look, Magrathea is a myth, a fairy story. It's what parents tell their kids about at night if they want them to grow up to become economists,
and we are currently in orbit around it.
Zaphod, I can't help what you may personally be in orbit around, but this ship...
Computer...
Oh, no.
Hi there, this is Eddie, your shipboard computer, and I'm feeling just great, guys. And I know I'm just going to get a bundle of kicks out of any program you care to run through me.
Is this necessary?
Computer, tell us again what our current trajectory is.
A real pleasure, fella. We are currently in orbit at an altitude of 300 miles around the legendary planet of Magrathea. Golly.
Proving nothing. I wouldn't trust that computer to speak my weight.
I can do that for you, sure.
No, thank you.
I can even work out your personality problems to 10 decimal places if it'll help.
Zaphod, we should have dawn coming up at any minute now on the planet, whatever it turns out to be.
Okay. Let's just take a look at it. Computer?
Hi there, what can I do?
Just shut up and give us external vision on the monitors.
Trillium.
Yes, Arthur.
I feel I may be missing the point of something.
Well, it's just that Magrathea is supposed to be this legendary planet from way back, which no one seriously believes in. Bit like Atlantis, really. Except that the legends say the Magratheans used to manufacture planets.
No, I'm sorry, Zaphod. It looks very pretty on the screen, but I refuse to believe it's Magrathea.
The suspense is killing me. Is there any tea on this spaceship?
Stress and nervous tension are now serious social problems in all parts of the galaxy. And it is in order that this situation should not be exacerbated that the following facts will now be revealed in advance. The planet in question is, in fact, Magrathea. The deadly missile attack shortly to be launched by an ancient and automatic defense system will merely result in the bruising of someone's upper arm and the untimely creation and sudden demise of an innocent sperm whale and a bowl of petunias. In order that some sense of mystery should still be preserved, no revelation will yet be made concerning whose upper arm has been bruised. This fact may safely be made the subject of suspense, since it is of no significance whatsoever. None of this, of course, is known to the crew of the starship Heart of Gold.
Well, even supposing it is Magrathea.
It is.
Which it isn't. What do you want with it anyway?
Oh, the usual. Fame, money, you know.
But it just looks like a dead planet.
Computer?
Hi there.
What is it?
Oh, just some 5 million-year-old tape recording that's being broadcast at us.
This is a recorded announcement, as I'm afraid we're all out at the moment. The Commercial Council of Magrathea thanks you for your esteemed visit.
Magrathea.
Okay.
Regrets that the entire planet is temporarily closed for business. Thank you. If you would like to leave your name and the address of the planet where you could be contacted, kindly speak when you hear the tone.
They want to get rid of us. What do we do?
It's just a recording. Keep going. Got that, computer?
I got it.
We would like to assure you that as soon as our business is resumed, announcements will be made in all fashionable magazines and color supplements, and clients will once again be able to select from all that's best in contemporary geography. Meanwhile, we thank our clients for their kind interest and would ask them to leave now.
Well, I suppose we'd better be going then, hadn't we?
There's absolutely nothing to be worried about.
Then why is everyone so tense?
They're just interested. We keep going.
It is most gratifying that your enthusiasm for our planet continues unabated, and so we would like to assure you that the guided missiles currently converging with your ship are part of a special service we extend to all of our most enthusiastic clients. And the fully armed nuclear warheads are, of course, merely a courtesy detail. We look forward to your custom in future lives. Thank you.
If that's their sales pitch, what must it be like in the complaints department?
Hey, this is terrific. It means we really must be onto something if they're trying to kill us.
Terrific?
You mean there is someone down there after all?
No, the whole defense system must be automatic, but the question is why?
What are we going to do?
Just keep cool.
Is that all?
No, we're also going to take evasive action. Computer, what evasive action can we take?
None, I'm afraid, guys.
Or something.
There seems to be something jamming my guidance systems. Impact minus 40 seconds. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Please call me Eddie if it'll help you relax.
Right. Look, we've got to get manual control of this ship.
Can you fly her?
No, can you?
No.
Forward?
No.
Fine, we'll do it together.
I can't either.
Yeah, I guess that. Computer, I want a full manual control now.
You got it. Good luck, guys. Impact minus 30 seconds.
Okay, forward, full retro thrust and 10 degrees starboard.
We're veering too fast.
Can't hold her. She's going into a spin.
It is, of course, more or less at this point that one of our heroes sustains a slight bruise to the upper arm. This should be emphasized because, as has already been revealed, they escape otherwise completely unharmed, and the deadly nuclear missiles do not eventually hit the ship. Our hero's safety is absolutely assured.
Impact minus 25 seconds, guys.
The rockets are still homing in. You can't shake them. We're going to die.
When you walk through
Shut that bloody computer up.
Impact minus 15 seconds.
Why doesn't anyone turn on this improbability drive thing?
Don't be silly, you can't do that.
Why not? There's nothing to lose at this stage.
Does anyone know why Arthur can't turn on the improbability drive?
Minus 5 seconds has been great morning, you guys. God bless you.
I said that anyone...
What the hell happened?
Well, I was just saying, there's this improbability drive switch here, you see, and I just
Where
pressed
are we,
it.
Trillian?
Exactly where we were, I think.
Then what happened to the missiles?
Well, according to this screen, they've just turned into a bowl of petunias and a very surprised-looking whale.
At an improbability factor of 8,767,128 to 1 again.
Did you think of that, Earthman?
Well, all I did was...
That's very good thinking, you know that? You just saved our lives.
Oh, it was nothing, really.
Oh, was it? Oh, well, forget it then. Okay, computer, take us into land.
Well, I say it was nothing. I mean, obviously it was something. I was just trying to say it's not worth making too much of a fuss about. I mean, just saving everybody's life.
Another thing that no one made too much fuss about was the fact that against all probability, a sperm whale had suddenly been called into existence some miles above the surface of an alien planet. And since this is not a naturally tenable position for a whale, this innocent creature had very little time to come to terms with its identity as a whale before it had to come to terms with suddenly not being a whale anymore. This is what it thought as it fell.
What's happening? Excuse me? Who am I? Hello? Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? What do I mean by who am I? Now, calm down. Get a grip now. Oh, this is an interesting sensation. What is it? Is it a sort of yawning, tingling sensation in my... Well, I suppose I better start finding names for things if I want to make any headway in what, for the sake of what I shall call an argument, I shall call the world. So, let's call it my stomach. So, a yawning, tingling sensation in my stomach. Good. Ooh, it's getting quite strong. And hey, what about this whistling, roaring sound going past what I'm suddenly going to call my head? That can be wind. Is that a good name? Yeah, well, it'll do. Perhaps I can find a better name for it later when I find out what it's for, because there certainly seems to be a hell of a lot of it. Hey, what's this thing? Let's call it, tail. Yeah, tail. Hey, I can really thrash him out pretty good, can't I? Wow! Wow! Hey, doesn't seem to achieve much, but I'll probably find out what it's for later on. Now, have I built up any coherent picture of things yet? No. Oh, well, hey, this is really exciting. So much to find out about, so much to look forward to. I'm quite dizzy with anticipation. Or is it the wind? Hey, there really is a lot of that now, isn't there? And wow, what's this thing coming towards me very fast? Very, very fast. So big and flat and wide. It needs a big, wide-sounding sort of word like round. Ground! That's it! Ground! I wonder if it'll be friends with me.
Curiously enough, the only thing that went through the mind of the bowl of petunias as it fell was, oh no, not again. Many people have speculated that if we knew exactly why the bowl of petunias had thought that, we would know a lot more about the nature of the universe than we do now. Similarly, a lot of people might have found life a great deal less puzzling if it had been generally realized that human beings were only the third most intelligent life forms on the planet Earth, instead of, as was generally thought by most independent observers, the second. The significance of this fact will become clear to Arthur Dent some 4 hours and 37 minutes after the starship has landed on the planet Magrathea, or 4 hours and 32 minutes after Trillian says, "Are we taking this robot?"
Are we taking this robot?
Don't feel you have to take any notice of me, please.
Oh, Marvin, the paranoid android. Yeah, we'll take him. How you doing, Metal Man?
Oh, fine. Good. If you happen to like being me, which personally I don't.
Terrific. Okay, everybody, let's go.
Good afternoon, boys.
What's that?
Oh, that's just the computer. I discovered it had an emergency backup personality, so I plugged it in. Can't be worse, can it?
Now, this is going to be your first day on a strange planet, so I want you all wrapped up snug and warm, and no playing with any naughty bug-eyed monsters.
Can't be
I think
worse.
you'd be better off with a slide rule.
Right, who said that?
Will you open up this exit hatch, please, computer?
Not until whoever said that ends up.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Computer.
I'm waiting. I can wait all day if necessary.
Hey, computer. If you don't open that exit hatch pretty damn pronto, I might find a very large axe to reprogram you with, okay?
I can see this relationship as something we're all going to have to work at.
Thank you. Let's go.
It'll all end in tears, I know it.
It's fantastic. It's bloody cold.
An entire alien world, thousands of light years from home. Pity it's such a dump, though.
Yeah, stark, dreary, and spattered with whale meat.
Hey, from this ridge you can see the remains of an ancient city.
What's it like?
Well, it's a bit of a dump.
Ford, you realize that robot can hum like Pink Floyd?
But I found what I was after. A passageway leading down into the interior of the planet.
Yeah?
And that's where we have to go. Where no organic life form has trod these 5 million years into the very depths of time itself. Can it, Marvin?
Well, come on if we're going.
Right. Hey, Earthman.
Arthur.
Could you sort of keep the robot with you and guard this end of the passageway, okay?
Guard? What from? You just said there's no one here.
Yeah, well, just for safety, okay?
Whose? Yours or mine?
Good lad. Okay, here we go.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Well, I hope you all have a really miserable time.
Don't worry, they will.
Why don't you flip through the book whilst you're waiting?
What book?
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, that thing.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a very unevenly edited book and contains many passages which simply seemed to its editors like a good idea at the time. One of these supposedly relates the experiences of one Vít Vujagig, a quiet young student at the University of Maximegalon who pursued a brilliant academic career studying ancient philology, transformational ethics, and the wave harmonic theory of historical perception. And then, after a night of drinking pan-galactic gargle blasters with Zaphod Beeblebrox, became increasingly obsessed with the problem of what had happened to all the biros he'd bought over the past few years. There followed a long period of painstaking research, during which he visited all the major centers of biro loss throughout the galaxy, and eventually came up with a quaint little theory which quite caught the public imagination at the time. Somewhere in the cosmos, he said, Along with all the planets inhabited by humanoids, reptiloids, fishoids, walking trioids, and superintelligent shades of the color blue, there was also a planet entirely given over to biro life forms. And it was to this planet that unattended biros would make their way, slipping quietly through wormholes in space to a world where they knew they could enjoy a uniquely biroid lifestyle, responding to highly biro-orientated stimuli, in fact, leading the biro equivalent of the good life. And as theories go, this was all very fine and pleasant, until Vít Vujicic suddenly claimed to have found this planet and to have worked there for a while driving a limousine for a family of cheap green retractables. Whereupon he was taken away, locked up, wrote a book, and was finally sent into tax exile, which is the usual fate reserved for those who are determined to make a fool of themselves in public. When one day an expedition was sent to the spatial coordinates that Vujicic had claimed for this planet, they discovered only a small asteroid inhabited by a solitary old man who claimed repeatedly that nothing was true, though he was later discovered to be lying. There did, however, remain the question both of the mysterious 60,000 Altarian dollars paid yearly into his bank account and, of course, of Zaphod Beeblebrox's highly profitable second-hand biro business. Meanwhile, on the surface of Magrathea,
Night's falling. Look, Robot, the stars are coming out.
I know. Wretched, isn't it?
But that sunset, I've never seen anything like it in my wildest dreams. The two suns. It was like mountains of fire boiling into space.
I've seen it. It's rubbish.
We only ever had the one sun at home. I came from a planet called Earth, you know.
I know. You keep going on about it. It sounds awful.
Oh, no. It was a beautiful place.
Did it have oceans?
Oh, yes. Great, wide, rolling blue oceans.
Can't bear oceans.
Tell me, do you get on well with other robots?
Hate them. Where are you going?
I think I'll just take a short walk.
Don't blame you.
Good evening. Do you choose a cold night to visit our dead planet?
Who are you?
My name is not important.
You startled me.
Do not be alarmed. I will not harm you.
But you shot at us. There were missiles.
Merely an automatic system. Ancient computers, ranged in the long caves deep in the bowels of the planet, tick away the dark millennia. I think they take the occasional pot shot to relieve the monotony. I'm a great fan of science, you know.
Really?
Oh, yes. You seem ill at ease.
Well, no disrespect, but I gathered you were all dead.
Dead? No. We have but slept.
Ah, slept?
Yes, through the economic recession, you see.
What?
Well, 5 million years ago, the galactic economy collapsed, and seeing that custom-built planets is something of a luxury commodity, you see, you know we built planets, do you?
Yes, I sort of gathered.
Fascinating trade. Doing the coastlines was always my favorite. Used to have endless fun doing all the little fiddly bits in fjords. So, anyway, the recession. Yes, we decided to sleep through it.
Sleep through it?
Yes. Our computers were index-linked to the galactic stock market prices, you see, and they were programmed to revive us when everyone had rebuilt the economy enough to afford our rather expensive services again.
Good God, that's a pretty unethical way to behave, isn't it?
Is it? I'm sorry, I'm a bit out of touch. Now, you must come with me. Great things are afoot. You must come now, or you will be late.
Late? What for?
What is your name, human?
Dent. Arthur Dent.
Late? As in the late Dent Arthur Dent. It's a sort of threat, you see. I've never been terribly good at them myself, but I'm told they can be terribly effective. Come, we must go. Even now, our race is being revived from its 5-million-year-old slumber.
Excuse me, what is your name, by the way?
My name? My name is Slarty Bartfast.
I beg your pardon?
Slarty Bartfast.
Slarty Bartfast?
I said it wasn't important. Come.
It is an important and popular fact that things are not always what they seem. For instance, on the planet Earth, man had always assumed that he was more intelligent than dolphins because he had achieved so much. The wheel, New York, wars, and so on. But conversely, the dolphins believed themselves to be more intelligent than man for precisely the same reasons. Curiously enough, The dolphins had long known of the impending demolition of the Earth and had made many attempts to alert mankind to the danger. But most of their communications were interpreted as amusing attempts to punch footballs or whistle for titbits. So they eventually gave up and left the Earth by their own means shortly before the Vogons arrived. The last ever dolphin message was misinterpreted as a surprisingly sophisticated attempt to do a double backward somersault through a hoop whilst whistling the Star-Spangled Banner. In fact, the message was this: "So long and thanks for all the fish." In fact, there was only one species on the planet more intelligent than dolphins, and they spent a lot of their time in behavioral research laboratories, running round inside wheels and mazes, conducting frighteningly elegant and subtle experiments on man.
Earthman, we are now deep in the heart of Magrathea. I should warn you that the chamber we are about to be projected into does not literally exist within our planet. It is simply the gateway into a vast tract of hyperspace. It may disturb you.
Oh.
It scares the willies out of me. Here we go. Welcome to our factory floor. This is where we make most of our planets, you see. The planet forges of Magrathea. We have been awakened to perform just one extraordinary commission. There, in the distance before us.
My God, the Earth!
Arthur bruised his upper arm.
The Earth Mark II, in fact. We're making a copy from our original blueprints.
Original blueprints? Are you trying to tell me you made the Earth?
Oh, yes. Did you ever go to a place, I think it was called Norway?
No, I didn't.
Pity, that was one of mine. Won an award, you know. Lovely, crinkly edges. I was terribly sorry to hear it had been destroyed.
You were?
5 minutes too early.
What?
Shocking cock-up. The mice were furious.
The mice were furious?
Yes.
Oh, yes, well, so I expect with the dogs and cats and duck-billed platypuses. But really, I don't see
they weren't running the planet, were they?
No, but
the mice were. So they were rather upset that it was destroyed 5 minutes too early, so we've got to build another one.
I'm sorry. Are we talking about the little white furry things with the cheese fixation and women standing screaming on tables in early 60s sitcoms?
Earthman, it is sometimes hard to follow your mode of speech. Remember, I have been asleep inside this planet of Magrathea for 5 million years and know little of these early 60s sitcoms of which you speak. But these creatures you call mice are merely the protrusion into our dimension of vast, hyper-intelligent, pan-dimensional beings. The whole business with the cheese and the squeaking is just a front. They've been experimenting on you, I'm afraid.
No, come on, that's the wrong way round. We used to experiment on them. You know, behavioral research and so on.
Such subtlety.
What?
How better to disguise their real natures and how better to guide your thinking. Suddenly running down the maze the wrong way, eating the wrong bit of cheese, unexpectedly dropping dead of myxomatosis. Earthman, I'm afraid I must tell you that your planet of people have formed the matrix of an organic computer, running a 10-million-year research program to find the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything.
Oh.
You see, they really are particularly clever, hyper-intelligent, pan-dimensional beings.
Attention, please, slightly broadcast. The mice have received reports that you have a human from the planet Earth with you. Report immediately. Report immediately.
However, in the field of management relations, they're absolutely shocking.
Really?
Yes, you see, well, every time they give me an order, I just want to jump on a table and scream.
I can see that would be a problem.
There are, of course, many problems connected with life, of which some of the most popular are: why are people born, why do they die, and why do they want to spend so much of the intervening time wearing digital watches? Many millions of years ago, a race of hyper-intelligent, pan-dimensional beings got so fed up with all the constant bickering about the meaning of life, which used to interrupt their favourite pastime of Brockian ultra cricket, a curious game which involved suddenly hitting people for no readily apparent reason and running away, that they decided to sit down and solve the problem once and for all. And to this end, they built themselves a stupendous supercomputer which was so amazingly intelligent that even before its databanks had been connected up, it had started from first principles with "I think, therefore I am," and had got as far as deducing the existence of rice pudding and income tax before anyone managed to turn it off. Could a mere computer solve the problem of life, the universe, and everything? Fortunately for posterity, there exists this recording of what happened when the computer was given its monumental task.
What is this great task for which I, Deep Thought, the second greatest computer in the universe of time and space, have been called into existence?
Oh, Deep Thought computer, the task we have designed you to perform is this. We want you to tell us the answer.
The answer? The answer to what?
Life.
The universe.
Everything.
Tricky.
But can you do it?
Yes, I can do it.
There is an answer? A simple answer?
Yes, life, the universe, and everything. There is an answer. But I'll have to think about it.
What's happening out there?
We demand admission.
Come on, you can't keep us out.
We demand that you can't keep us out.
Who are you? What do you want?
I am Magic Thighs.
And I demand that I am Vroomfondle.
It's all right, you don't need to demand that.
Sorry. All right, I am Vroomfondle, and that is not a demand. That is a solid fact. What we demand is solid facts.
No, we don't. That is precisely what we don't demand.
Sorry. We don't demand solid facts.
Right.
What we demand is a total absence of solid facts. I demand that I may or may not be Vroomfondle.
Look, but who are you anyway?
We are philosophers.
Though we may not be.
Yes, we are. We're quite definitely here as representatives of the amalgamated union of philosophers, sages, luminaries, and other professional thinking persons.
Right.
And we want this machine off, and we want it off now.
What is all this?
We demand that you get rid of it.
What's the problem?
I'll tell you what the problem is. Demarcation, that's the problem.
We demand that demarcation may or may not be the problem.
You just let the machines get on with the adding up and we'll take care of the eternal verities, thank you very much.
Right.
Under law, the quest for ultimate truth is quite clearly the prerogative of your working thinkers.
Right.
Any bloody machine goes and actually finds it and we're straight out of a job, aren't we? I mean, well, what's the use of our sitting up all night saying there may
Or may not be.
Or may not be a god if this machine gives you his telephone number the next morning?
We demand guaranteed, rigidly defined areas of doubt and uncertainty.
Might I make an observation at this point?
You keep out of this metal nose!
We demand that that machine not be allowed to think about this problem.
All I wanted to say...
We'll go on strike.
That's right, you'll have a national philosopher's strike on your hands.
Whom will that inconvenience?
Never you mind who it will inconvenience, you box of blacklegging binary bits.
Right.
It'll hurt, Buster. It'll hurt.
There is no terror in your threats. All I wanted to say is that I am now irrevocably committed to computing the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But the program will take me 7.5 million years to run.
7.5 million years?
And it occurs to me that running a program like this is bound to cause sensational public interest. And so, any philosophers, such as perhaps yourselves, who are quick off the mark, are going to clean up in the prediction business.
Prediction business? What's that?
You just get on the pundit circuit. You all go on the chat shows and the colour supplements and violently disagree with each other about what answer I'm eventually going to produce. And if you get yourselves clever agents, you'll be on the gravy train for life.
Bloody hell. Now that's what I call thinking. Here, Vroomfondle, why do we never think of things like that?
Dunno. Think our minds must be too highly trained, Magic Thighs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's it.
And so Vroomfondle and Magic Thighs became the greatest and most truly interesting pundits the universe had ever known. And thousands upon thousands of generations later, the great day for which this race of hyper-intelligent, pan-dimensional beings had waited, somewhat impatiently, dawned.
Oh, people who wait in the shadow of deep thought, honored descendants of Vroomfondle and Magic Thighs, the time of waiting is over. has waited for this great and hopefully enlightening day, the day of the answer. Never again will we wake up in the morning and think, who am I? What is my purpose in life? Does it really, cosmically speaking, matter if I don't get up and go to work? For today, we will finally learn once and for all the plain and simple answer to all these nagging little problems of life, the universe, and everything. From today, we can enjoy our games of Brockian Ultra Cricket in the firm and comfortable knowledge that the meaning of life is now well and truly sorted out.
The time is nearly upon us. I detect a change in the computer. It's suddenly looking a lot more relaxed.
75,000 generations ago, our ancestors set this program in motion. In all that time, we will be the first to hear the computer speak.
An awesome prospect.
We are the ones who will hear the answer to the great question of life.
The universe.
And everything.
Deep Thought prepares to speak.
Good evening.
Good evening. Oh, Deep Thought, do you have you that is
An answer for you?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
There really is one?
There really is one.
to everything? To the great question of life, the universe and everything?
Yes.
And are you ready to give it to us?
I am.
Now?
Now.
Wow.
Though I don't think you're going to like it.
Doesn't matter, we must know it. Now.
Now.
Yes, now.
All right.
Well?
You're really not going to like it.
Tell us.
All right. The answer to everything.
Yes.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Yes.
Is.
Yes.
Is.
Yes.
42.
We're gonna get lynched, you know that.
It was a tough assignment.
42? I mean, is that all we've waited all that money?
May I be permitted to make an observation?
7.5 million years' work.
I checked it very thoroughly, and that definitely is the answer. I think the problem essentially is that you've never actually said what the question is.
But it was the ultimate question. The question of life, the universe, and everything.
Yes, but what actually is it?
Well, I mean...
You know, why is,
What?
What sort of,
Where,
when... everything. Just everything, you know.
Exactly. Now, once you know what the question actually is, you'll know what the answer means.
Oh, terrific.
Look, all right. Now, can you please tell us the question?
The ultimate question
Yes.
of life, the universe, and everything?
Yes.
Tricky.
But can you do it?
No.
Oh,
But I'll tell you who can.
but who? Please tell us, please.
I speak of the computer that is to come after me. A computer whose merest operational parameters I am not worthy to calculate. And yet, I will design it for you. A computer to calculate the ultimate question. A computer of such infinite and subtle complexity that organic life itself shall form part of its operational matrix. And you yourselves shall take on the forms of humble rodents and go down into the computer.
I think this is getting needlessly messianic.
Down to navigate its 10 million year program. Yes, I shall design this computer for you, and I shall name it also unto you, and it shall be called the Earth. Yes.
Oh. What a dull name.
Earthman, you must awake. Wake up.
Where am I?
You have been in a deep trance, absorbing data from the Magrathian Compu Matrix archive cells.
Oh, of course.
Come, you are to meet your masters.
Your arrival on our planet has caused considerable excitement. It has already been hailed as the third most improbable event in the history of the universe.
What were the first two?
Oh, probably just coincidences.
But was that all true? That the Earth was just a huge computer?
Yes, and it was destroyed by the Vogons 5 minutes before the 10 million year program was completed. Well, that's bureaucracy for you.
You know, that would explain a lot of things. All through my life, I've had this strange, unaccountable feeling that something secret, something sinister was going on in the world, and no one would tell me what it was.
Oh, that's just perfectly normal paranoia. Everyone in the universe has that.
Well, perhaps that means that somewhere outside even the universe, on the next scale up...
Maybe. Who cares? Perhaps I'm old and tired, but I always think that the chances of finding out what really is going on are so absurdly remote that the only thing to do is say, hang the sense of it and just keep yourself occupied. Look at me. I designed coastlines. I got an award for Norway. Where's the sense in that? None that I've been able to make out. I've been doing fjords all my life. For a fleeting moment, they become fashionable, and I get a major award. In this replacement Earth we're building, they're giving me Africa to do, and of course I'm doing it with all fjords again because I happen to like them, and I'm old-fashioned enough to think that they give a lovely baroque feel to a continent, and they tell me it's not equatorial enough. Well, what does it matter? Science has achieved some wonderful things, of course, but I'd far rather be happy than right any day.
And are you?
No. That's where it all falls down, of course.
Pity. It sounded like quite a good lifestyle otherwise.
Attention, please, Slarty Bartfast. Would Slarty Bartfast and the visiting Earth creature please report to the Mice in the Works reception area immediately?
I seem to be having this tremendous difficulty with my lifestyle.
Beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, that must seem an awfully fatuous thing to say.
Yes, I thought so.
It's just that I find it a bit hard to relate to all this.
It is, of course, well known that careless talk costs lives, but the full scale of the problem is not always appreciated. For instance, at the very moment that Arthur said, "I seem to be having this tremendous difficulty with my lifestyle," a freak wormhole opened up in the fabric of the space-time continuum and carried his words far, far back in time across almost infinite reaches of space to a distant galaxy where strange and warlike beings were poised on the brink of frightful interstellar battle. The two opposing leaders were meeting for the last time, and a dreadful silence fell across the conference table as the commander of the Vlahergs, resplendent in his black jeweled battle shorts, gazed levelly at the Gugvant leader squatting opposite him in a cloud of green, sweet-smelling steam, and with a million sleek and horribly beweaponed star cruisers poised to unleash electric death at his single word of command, challenged the vile creature to take back what it had said about his mother. The creature stirred in his sickly, broiling vapor, and at that very moment the words,
"I seem to be having this tremendous difficulty with my lifestyle,"
drifted across the conference table. Unfortunately, in the Vlaherg tongue, this was the most dreadful insult imaginable, and there was nothing for it but to wage terrible war. Eventually, after their galaxy had been decimated, it was realized that the whole thing had been a ghastly mistake, and so the two opposing battle fleets settled their few remaining differences in order to launch a joint attack on our galaxy, now positively identified as the source of the offending remark. For thousands more years, the mighty ships tore across the empty wastes of space and finally dived screaming onto the planet Earth, where, due to a terrible miscalculation of scale, the entire battle fleet was accidentally swallowed by a small dog. Those who study the complex interplay of cause and effect in the history of the universe say that this sort of thing is going on all the time, but are powerless to prevent it. It's just life, they say. Meanwhile, Arthur Dent has been escorted to the Magrathian Works reception area for a shatteringly odd meeting.
Arthur, you're safe!
Am I? Oh, good.
Hi, Arthur. Come and join us.
Ford, Trillian, Zaphod, what happened to you?
Well, our host's here.
Hosts? What hosts?
Welcome to lunch, Earth creature.
What? Who said that? There's a mouse on the table.
Oh, haven't you found out yet, Arthur?
What? Oh, I see. Yes. Yes, I just wasn't quite prepared for the full reality of it.
Arthur, this is Benji Mouse. And this is Frankie Mouse.
Nice to meet you.
Excuse me.
Yes, thank you, Slarty Bartfast. You may go.
What? Oh, very well. Thank you, sir. I'll just go and get on with some of my fjords then.
In fact, that won't be necessary. We won't be requiring the new Earth after all. We had this rather interesting proposition put to us.
What? You can't mean that. I've got 1,000 glaciers poised and ready to roll over Africa.
Well, perhaps you can take a quick skiing holiday before you dismantle them.
Skiing holiday? Those glaciers are works of art. Elegantly sculpted contours, soaring pinnacles of ice, deep, majestic ravines. It would be sacrilege to go skiing on high art.
Thank you, Slarty Bartfast. That will be all.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Well, goodbye, Earthman. Hope the lifestyle comes together.
What? Oh, thank you. Yes. Goodbye, then. Sorry about the fjords.
Now, Earth creature. As you've gathered, we've been at this ultimate question business now for 17.5 million years.
Oh, longer, surely.
No, it just seems longer. And then, just as we're about to get somewhere, you go and let your wretched planet get blown up. And, well, we're sick to death of the whole thing, to be honest.
Well, it's hardly my fault.
Yes, we appreciate that. The point is that we need a question. At least a question.
And we can either do the whole thing all over again.
God forbid.
Or, well, we'll come to that.
You see, the thing is, we've been offered an enormous contract to do the 5D TV chat show and lecture circuit.
What?
But we've got to have a strong product.
You see, Monkey Man, if they're just sitting there in the studio looking very relaxed and just, mentioning that they happen to know the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe and everything, and then eventually have to admit that in fact it's 42, then I think the show's probably quite short.
Right.
Yeah.
No follow-up, you see. We've got to have something that sounds good.
Something that sounds good? An ultimate question that sounds good?
Well, I mean, yes, idealism. Yes, the dignity of pure research. Yes, the pursuit of truth in all its forms. But there comes a point, I'm afraid, where you begin to suspect that if there's any real truth, it's that the entire infinity of the universe is almost certainly being run by a bunch of maniacs. And if it comes to a choice between spending another 10 million years finding that out, and on the other hand, just taking the money and running, then I, for one, could do with the exercise.
But I don't understand.
Hey, get this, will you, Earthman? You are a last-generation product of that computer matrix, right? And you were there right up to the moment your planet got the finger, yeah?
Yes,
So
I
your
suppose
brain
that's
was
true.
an organic part of the penultimate configuration of the computer program.
Right?
Well, yes, but I don't quite see what this is...
There's a good chance that the structure of the question is encoded in the structure of your brain. So we want to buy it off you.
What, the question?
No, your brain.
What?
Yeah, that's okay, isn't it? I mean, who's going to miss it?
Thank you very much.
I thought you said you could just read his brain electronically.
Yes, but we've got to get it out first. It's got to be prepared, treated, diced.
Thank you.
Arthur!
Hey, come on, guys. I mean, hey! It can be replaced, if you think it's that important.
An electronic brain. A simple one should suffice.
A simple one?
Yeah, it can be programmed to say what, and I don't understand, and where's the T, and who'd know the difference?
What?
See what I mean?
I'd notice the difference.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be programmed not to.
Look, I'm sorry, my soul lads. I don't think we've got a deal.
Emergency, emergency. Hostile ship has landed on planet. Intruders now within works reception area. Defense station.
Bats dudes, it'll be galactic police. We gotta go whoosh.
Yes, we're in a stolen spacecraft.
Improbability drive ship.
Ah, so that's how the Earthman got here.
Say, Fod, didn't you leave a note explaining how they could make a profit on the insurance deal?
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have worked.
Come on, then, let's move.
Damn. Why all that fuss over 2 pounds of earthling brain?
We're going to have to invent a question.
What's yellow and dangerous?
42. No, doesn't work. No. How many roads must a man walk down?
Ah, that's promising. Sounds good, but doesn't actually tie you down to meaning anything. How many roads must a man walk down?
42.
Excellent, excellent, Frankie.
Which way you reckon, Zaphod?
At a wild guess, I'd say down here.
Okay, move.
Okay, Beeblebrox, freeze! We got you covered.
You want to try guess at all, Ford?
Okay, this way.
Right, okay.
We don't want to shoot you, Beeblebrox.
suits me fine.
We're cornered.
Oh, hell, I've dropped my adrenaline pills. All right, behind this computer bank, get down.
Hey, they're shooting at us.
Yeah.
I thought they said they didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I thought they said that.
Hey, we thought you said you didn't want to do that.
It isn't easy being a cop.
What did he say?
He said it isn't easy being a cop.
Well, surely that's his problem, isn't it?
I'd have thought so.
Hey, listen. I think we've got enough problems of our own with you shooting at us. So if you could avoid laying your personal problems on us as well, I think we'd probably find it easier to cope.
Now, see here, you guys. You are not dealing with any dumb, two-bit trigger-pumping morons with low hairlines, little piggy eyes, and no conversation. No, we are a couple of intelligent, caring guys who you'd probably quite like if you met us socially. Yeah. I don't go around gratuitously shooting people and bragging about it in seedy Space Rangers bars. No, he doesn't. No, I don't. I go around shooting people gratuitously and then agonize about it afterwards to my girlfriend. Yeah, he does, and I write novels. He writes them in crayon. No, I haven't had any of them published yet, so I'd better warn you, I'm in a mean mood.
Who are these guys?
I think I preferred it when they were shooting.
So, you gonna come out quietly, or you gonna let us blast you out?
Which would you rather?
You still there? Yes! We didn't enjoy doing that at all.
We could tell.
Now listen to this, people, Brox, and you better listen good.
Why?
Because it's gonna be very intelligent and quite interesting and humane.
Okay, far away. I mean...
Sorry. Misunderstanding, man. Yeah, it was fun though, wasn't it? Yeah. Let's shoot him again for a bit. Yeah, why not?
The computer bank is absorbing a hell of a lot of energy. I think it's about to explode.
Well, that about wraps it up for this lifetime.
Well, it's been really nice running into you again, Zaphod.
Zaglabos,
What are you doing?
It's an ancient Beetlejuicean anthem.
Yeah?
Singing it makes us feel good at times of stress. Zaglabos.
Well, if you're going to be like that about it. Land of hope and glory.
Oh, well, in that case...
It is, of course, more or less at this misleading point that this part of our story ends. Though it is in many ways a remarkable story, contains much that is apocryphal, or at least wildly inaccurate, is reasonably cheap, and has the words "Don't Panic" written in large, friendly letters on the cover, it is not, of course, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy itself. To obtain your copy of the actual guide, please write to Megadodo Publications, Megadodo House, Ursa Minor Beta, enclosing £4.95p for the book and £578,000 million postage and packing.